So obviously, you guys know with every draft, there's always comes smoke screens and rumors and all that stuff. So a big rumor that's been kind of circulating for the last few days here, since yesterday, really, is that the Bears are looking to move off of Robert Quinn. They want a draft pick for him. And obviously, edge has been something that we've talked about, getting a veteran edge or maybe draft a rookie edge. But this Robert Quinn has 3 years left on his contract. He's coming off an 18 and a half sack season, which I did not realize he had 18 and a half sacks last year. Insane. So yeah, he's got 3 years left on his deal, about 13 million a year left on his 3 years. And then James Bradberry, cornerback that we've been interested in for some time now. The Giants are looking to move him on draft weekend. And they're looking for anything between a 4th or 5th round. That's been kind of the number there. And then for Robert Quinn, apparently the trade that would be able to do would be a 3rd round pick. Some are saying our 103rd pick. So the question to you guys is, of the 2 veterans we're interested in, which of these would you want us to pursue? And I guess the question comes down to is, would you rather have a veteran edge and a rookie cornerback, or a rookie edge rookie edge and a veteran cornerback, or vice versa? So which one does it come down to as far as what this team needs?
Well, go ahead, JD.
All right. Well, first off, I don't think the Bears will do it. I don't, but they might. I kind of looked on the news to check it out, and they were saying like, "Nah, look, it may be a smoke screen, but we're far away from doing this." But to answer your question, man, that's a really good question. Bradberry, for on this team, if you have a guy like him, okay, who's an all-pro corner, and because of what we're dealing with in our division, okay, I think that guy like that makes a lot of sense. And here's why: because he's a younger guy, he's got a lot of football ahead of him. And I think you can get a lot out of this guy because of, like I said, who you have to contend with. You got Devontae Adams, Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton. I mean, you got guys on the other side that we got to contend with, what I'm saying, week after week, not to mention who's in the AFC. And so we're thinking like, okay, if it's same scenario, we had to go through Buffalo, then who you got at Buffalo you had to contend with. Then you're talking about, the Bengals, who you had to continue with the Bengals. And so you're thinking about long-term, you get a guy that's going to be able to lock these guys down, at least give, I'm talking about being a physical type of guy that gives some great competition, against these receivers. I mean, seriously, we just talked about Lamborghinis and whatnot. This is what we had to contend with in the NFL right now, because these guys out there are out here willing to catch the football, and they're going to throw it to them. The guys throwing the ball to them is, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, all these guys. So we know what we had to deal with in the AFC. And so when I'm thinking about that, why not get a guy like that here? Now, not saying anything about Robert Quinn. I had no idea he had 18 and a half sacks. I had no idea. But also what it tells me is, kind of looking to it, he had other guys around him, though. You got to have other guys for him to get 18 and a half sacks. You know what I'm saying? Robert Quinn's kind of long, long in the tooth. He's an older guy. Can you get 18 and a half out of him this year? Don't know. I know. Look, I'm looking at his stats. He had 2 sacks the year before, so he was getting back healthy. I remember the past few years before that, he was hurt. I think it's why Robert Quinn wasn't really paying attention to him. He was just a name that was kind of going from here, Cowboys, Rams, and different places like that. And he was kind of like here, he get hurt, but then all of a sudden he shows up with 18 and a half. So, hey, man, good for him. I don't know. It depends on what works for us, realistically, as far as like what you're giving up. If you get a 3rd round pick for Robert Quinn, maybe. I don't know. Bradberry is going to cost us a little bit more. But that's my argument as far as like get a younger guy here that plays corner. Then you have to worry about it in the draft. You could, at least concentrate on other positions. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the way I feel is, I guess all things being equal, say the Chiefs can't move in the draft at all. Let's say they can't do that. If they can't do that, being that I think the team is so ready, like they're ready to win. It's not like they gotta go out and, get the youngest dude with the most potential. I mean, they need somebody to come in and that can play right now. So all things being equal, if they can't move, I say you rather have a veteran corner, right? Considering some of the plays that we gave up, to end the season are due to not having a veteran out there in the secondary, too. So just not saying that they solve every problem. I'm not saying that, but just the cohesiveness of a unit when you got people out there that are kind of talking before things happen. It's not a whole lot of mix up where guys get running one way and got to stop and try to go back another way to cover it. It don't happen as much when the more kind of, veteran players you get that been in some high leverage situations that perform out there at a high level, they kind of get it together. We get on the same page and you'll be able to talk to each other and we're not going to have these mistakes, so that's important. Then again, with that being said, the dudes that are throwing these dudes the ball are a problem too, so getting more pressure on them is something you want to do. But I think the Chiefs can generate pressure, and from where they draft can probably get somebody to help them add to that, a young dude that they can come in and probably just allow him to rush the passer, put him in situations where that's what he does. At the end of the first round, you can do that. Now, if they able to get up there and get like any one of them, the corners, like the kid from Washington, like McDuffie, or, obviously Stingley way up there, Gardner way up there. If they could do that, yes, do that. Because those type of guys, I don't care if they're young or not, get those dudes, get those dudes. As long as you know that they character is something that you can put them out there and they won't be a deer in headlights. They won't miss a blink, because you can talk to kids and tell how kind of their demeanor of how they going to accept the challenge of being like this professional athlete now, and you could tell the guys that are going to step right in and kind of just get to it. And then you can also kind of see sometime when there's going to be some apprehension. I didn't really like Booth as much at Clemson this year. To say like move picks to go get them, and if you could get a younger pass rusher and then make a trade, and you saying they only want a 4th or a 5th for Bradberry, which is less than they want for Quinn, you could do that where we're drafting without having to move much. You move one pick, get you a veteran corner, still have that pick, the 3rd round pick and the pick at the end of the first to do some other things when you can get a edge rusher. But like I said, if you can move up to get one of those top corners, I would. I definitely would. I don't really see how that's possible, but if it was, I would. It's a premier position if you can get a high level talent at that position.
We were kind of talking about last week we did a segment with the draft, right? And in the first round, I took a corner with the 29th pick. I took Gary Elam from Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Physical guy. To me, that strategic thinking, what you want to do as far as like to me, that's what I'm thinking. Like, if this is the best guy available, you got to take a guy like that, because you don't know what you're going to get on the back end. Look, everybody talks about, Beach has been able to do, more with less, getting guys later on. But that may not always be the best policy, dealing with this. Like I said, especially we out here, you got, Bugattis and all of this running around. You know what I mean? Like you said, you don't know if the lights are too big for certain guys.
Right.
But guys that I know has been going against probably the best, like the SEC. Those guys that probably going against the best, like Jamar Chase, you've seen him, the year before that. Like, yeah, get a guy in here who's seen some things like that before, who's ready, who come in, step in. They already got that dog in them to go out there and compete. But I know it's kind of a little contention there. People didn't know with a corner. I'm like, look, man, we got to get somebody. You got to have a top guy. I mean,
because we need that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I for sure say, like, I wouldn't care if the corner's young at all. If you move up there and get one of those top 3 dudes, like, man, that's huge on the other side of the ball. Having that over there is bigger than people understand. it's a dude that's like a movable object. That dude always over there. No matter what that offense wants to do, that dude is over there. Or wherever you send your guy, that guy is there. So whatever you want to do, you got to deal with him all day. And when you don't have that guy, offenses are a lot more, they free. They're free, as in how we want to run things. We don't need to scheme it up to get, to certain spots on the field, because anybody will do. We'll just do it on any of you guys, but when you have that guy, now the coordinator staying up to figure out, all right, he's going to follow you. He's got to figure out how to work in a different space or how to scheme him up. That's fine. You want guys to do that every week. Like the going and getting another veteran pass rusher, I don't think will keep anybody up at night about the Chiefs. They know they're going to be able to work up some pressure anyway. I think where they're going to try to attack us is in the secondary, and so if you can move any picks, let it be for that, for corner, rather than trying to do edge rusher. You got a bunch of picks, man. You can get that figured out. You can get a pass rush specialist if that's what we want,
Right. I'm laughing because I just always remember meetings when we would do the scatter report and how coaches would talk about a corner. Like, this guy right here, we're going to eat his lunch today. He's easy. Look, such and such had 6 catches for 100-something yards getting him last week. We going for 10 for 200. It's just week in and week out. Like,
imagine when you got that dude out there that's really a guy. Then it's like, man, you can stick your chest out and go attack him too, but that's how you make his money, And so coordinators finally go, you know what? Let's work something up on the other side because it ain't going too hot over there, and I ain't gonna lose my job. Keep testing this dude. Right. But that's a major weapon for a defense. If a team, when the Raiders had Nnamdi out there in press coverage, that's a major weapon for that defense. When the offense just said, you know what, our reads are over here. When you snap the ball, read this side. Don't even look over there. Read this side. That's a major weapon.
we used to talk about Prime like that all the time. This so half the field, he got. He got this side over here. So we're gonna have to figure something out. Yeah. We keep testing this wad over here. We better not do it because it'll go the other way really quick. So yeah.
And I know that's how they had the scheme for Revis. So that's a problem for a coordinator that I think he doesn't have to do as much for the end. Maybe you chip your back. Maybe you have to max protect a little bit, but you don't lose a lot of sleep. That corner that's shutting down the side of your field is a major problem. Taking your top guy, your guy that you want to feature, is now locked up in a matchup with a guy that you don't have a high percentage throwing at, and so that's major. Especially when everything's analytics now, so they know how much that changes the game, having a guy that they don't really you don't even want guys to get thrown at, like Jalen Ramsey. That's good. The fact that they not even trying him means they are forgetting one part of their offense. That's good. If every time the offense line up, y'all working with one less wideout, y'all only got 4 eligibles, I'll take that. I'll pay a dude a lot of money to let your offense work with 4 eligibles every time. And that's why Jalen Ramsey getting paid that much. Because he take one, he'll just take one and you gone.
The analysis says there's a high probability this one's going to go the other way.
Yeah, so. Exactly. They don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. And as far as in this draft, I think it's deeper. It's a great draft for receiver, DBs, and edge rusher. So all of our needs, it's really in this draft. But I think, to your point, you can find edge rushers. I think after the first few edge rushers, there's kind of like this range where you can get the same kind of guy grade-wise, and based on the analysis I've read, you get the same kind of guy from picks 28 to picks, like 70. So for a while but there's a big drop off with quarterbacks where there's the first 5 and there's a little bit of a drop off, and then the rest of the guys. So yeah, like the mock draft you had last week, the Kaiir Elam. I think if he's there at 29, I think why not you go him and you go with the edge rusher with the 30th pick, or best receiver available with the 30th pick. Yeah.
And look, I'm gonna say this because reality is, like we were just talking about, the game changing to being a more passing league. It's the same thing. You're gonna have better pass rushers because that's all you want a guy to do, right? Because they drop them back now 40 or 50 times a game. So guys are going to specialize in going to go get the football. And so, look, the drop off, like you said, look, if this guy can still rush and get pressure on the guy, cool. We could live with that all day long. I think, getting enough guys here for the rotation is where we need to kind of like plant our flag at too. You know what I mean? Because I think it was part of our problem because we just didn't really have – we get pressure, but then all of a sudden, like the next guys that were coming in wasn't really generating that pressure like you really wanted. That was the issue. That was a problem.
Well, yeah, with corner, kind of what I was talking about. Like, I definitely, like, if you want to move any picks, let it be to try to move up to get like one of those top corners, maybe if you can't even get, because if you can't get probably inside the top 10, you can't get Stingley anymore. And Gardner probably be gone before him. So, but, there's still McDuffie. There still is Booth there, like, and all the talent's there and footwork, and all that stuff. So you just got to see. I just didn't like how he held up as much, when he was the man, that was my only concern there, which is kind of like one of the things that I say you want to kind of see that, like, when you're the guy, like what can we kind of expect, from you week in and week out. And, it wasn't the greatest, it also wasn't horrible either, but, so corner, I would say stay there. As far as the edge rushers, like I was saying with the guys who specialize in rushing the passer and stuff like that, I mean, as a scout, there's a bunch of stuff that they can go. These teams get private workouts, man. Like, I could have a dude out here that's been rushing the passer, might be a little bit on the smaller side. Man, I can have this dude out here dropping curl to flat, seeing how he's playing the ball and all this stuff. Now I got a dude I can run these exotic zone blitzes with, and these people was overlooking this kid. This kid could catch the ball. He dropping out here curl to flat. He could break on the curl. He going in the flat route. I got him breaking down. I can use that, and I can get that later because nobody else knows that. Because he just been running around the tackle going to do this, and they might not realize that this kid can do all this other stuff. Well, that's how you can find a guy and get this guy who some of these guys, they might start as a gadget guy and end up being $100 million dude one day, because that type of stuff, especially the way the game is going, but I think it's easier to find that guy than to go work out a corner and see something that you just had missed. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not really going to just see something with a corner that you just missed. Like, it shows up no matter who they're guarding. They could be playing at wherever they playing at, Wyoming, Grand Valley, Canyon State. They could be playing there. And when they line up, there's certain things that they do that you're going to see no matter who they're guarding. You're going to be like, oh, man, this dude, look how quick he is out of his pedal off the ball. Like you could just see things. Like it doesn't matter where they are. An edge rusher could be different because some of these dudes, what they do is just get after the quarterback, and some of their game, you don't even get to see it. You don't know that you could line the dude up at outside linebacker for real, and do some things with him. And that makes him way more valuable when you start getting the third down and stuff. And now the offense goes, well, dang, we don't know where the blitz may come from because that dude with his in that 2-point stance on the edge could possibly be part of the coverage, or he's coming. He's either screaming off that edge or he could be part of the coverage, but it's one more thing for the quarterback to need to see. Like, you know what I mean? And figure out. And I think you can find those guys later than those top tier guys like that you want to do that with. Kind of from these top tier schools, everybody knows about the guys, everybody knows about the pass rushers that run the 4.4s, and they went to, the Georgias and the Texas A&Ms. They gonna find them, they cost a lot. But, you can find guys with that same athleticism and same ability. Really, like they're just their skill level, their coordination level, their ball skills. That's big, man. Any player, give me a player with some ball skills. I don't care if he played D tackle. I like it. If he 350 and he catch the ball and stuff, I like that better than a dude that can't. Like, it's good. It's good. Like, their coordination is on a level that's better than people that can't do that type of stuff.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.